Picture this. A young developer sits down at his computer in 2020 and starts working on a game about pets. You adopt virtual animals, raise them, feed them, and then trade them with friends. It's a simple idea. The kind of idea 1,000 people probably had that same week. But something about this one just clicks. By the end of the first year, it hit 17 billion visits. The developer is staring at the number on his screen. Money coming in at rates most people will never see in their entire life. But a game hitting 17 billion visits doesn't just happen overnight. This was only possible because of years of growth, Roblox's economy changing, and millions of players joining one by one, and the people who got unbelievably rich were the ones who figured out the systems that mattered most. And in this video, we are going to look at the people who understood this system and turned it into generational wealth. Mic'd. Back in 2007, when Roblox was still a tiny platform and barely anyone knew it existed, you couldn't buy Robux with real money at all. There was no store, no checkout, nothing like that. The only way to get Robux was by winning community contests, or by having people play your games and earning from the visits. So the richest player on the entire platform at that time had just 3,246 Robux. That number sounds like nothing today, but back then, it was a huge amount. And the second richest player only had 2,000. That richest player was named Mic'd. He got there by making a game called Ultimate Paintball, which was the biggest game on the platform and the first one in Roblox history to ever hit 1 million visits. That was such a big deal that Roblox even built a tournament around it just to celebrate what he accomplished. He also won multiple contests on top of that, which is how he pulled ahead of everyone else, including early big names on the platform like Telamon and Builderman. So in the very beginning of Roblox, the way to the top was simple. Make the biggest game, get the most visits, and win tournaments. Telamon. In 2010, everything changed. Roblox introduced limited items, wearable cosmetics that would never be made again once they sold out, and this one change completely changed how wealth worked on the platform. The richest player was no longer a game developer. It was a Roblox admin named Telamon, and the reason he got to the top is honestly pretty unfair, because as an admin, he had access to these limited items the second they dropped, before any regular player could even see them. So he bought everything. The Dominus Imperius, the Sparkle Time Fedora, the Clockwork Shades, the Dark Heart. Back then, grabbing all 4 of those together cost him somewhere around 20 to 30,000 Robux in total. Today, that same collection is worth over 50 million Robux. He also made a popular game called Sword Fights on the Heights, but his real wealth was always sitting in his item collection. At his peak, he was worth over 200,000 Robux, which back then felt like an insane number that was impossible to reach. StickMaster Luke. Now here is where it gets interesting, because the next person to take the crown figured out something nobody had really done before. What if instead of choosing between making games or collecting rare items, you just did both? That person was StickMaster Luke. He owned 2 of the top 5 games on the whole platform. Natural Disaster Survival had 3 million visits, The Underground War had 1.5 million, and Natural Disaster Survival is still one of the biggest games on Roblox today, with new players finding it all the time. But on top of those games, he also collected almost every limited item on the platform. He combined the income from over 5 million total game visits with a rare item collection that kept growing in value. And because of that, he quickly became the first player in Roblox history to ever break 1 million Robux. After this, people were genuinely shocked because that number just felt impossible to hit. That million Robux was a first, and every rich player that came after him basically just followed the exact same path he laid out. Newfissy and Bethink. These were 2 developers who created a game called Adopt Me. At the end of 2019, they already hit 3 billion visits, but during the corona pandemic in 2020, the whole world was stuck at home, and kids everywhere around the world found Roblox at the same time. By the end of 2020, the game hit 17 billion visits. It was twice as big as the second biggest game on the platform, which was Newfissy. Nobody had ever seen growth like that on Roblox before. Newfissy and Bethink became the richest game developers on the platform by far. This happened at the same time when Roblox added something called premium payouts, which meant developers now got paid just for the time players spent in their game, without even needing to sell anything. Adopt Me stayed at number 1 all the way through 2022. Then, in 2023, it got replaced by Brookhaven, a game made mostly by one developer named Wolfpak, who eventually sold it and walked away. Now beyond those four, Dude1, Merely, Shedletsky, and Linkman99 all had their moment at the top, with Shedletsky likely reaching billions of Robux across his 20 accounts. And on the game side, titles like Steal a Brainrot blew up to insane numbers but burned out just as quick, whereas Adopt Me has been consistently pulling players in for years. Roblox has turned more ordinary people into millionaires than almost anything else in gaming, but not everyone got rich the right way. Some people stole games and uploaded them as their own, and some manipulated the market where players inflated the price, then dumped everything at once and left everyone else with worthless items. But that's Roblox for you. If you want to watch more videos like this, check out the one on screen right now, and if you enjoyed this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.